is having a meltdown because President Trump, his security team, and the military apparently deceived them about how he was leaving Turkey on Air Force One. But here's the thing. If you're doing close protection properly, sometimes deceiving people around the principle is exactly what you're supposed to do. My name is Ross Mclean. I'm former law enforcement bodyguard to billionaires. I used to teach close protection. I did it for a living. Let me tell you what is actually going on here with Trump and the escape from Turkey. President Trump was over in Turkey while the Iran war is going on. He's been targeted. He's been threatened before. There was lots of intelligence coming in that apparently Iran may try to take another shot at the president as he leaves. So you're talking about the most protected man in the world in hostile territory with very hostile threats against him. He's protected by the Secret Service and the military, and Lord knows what else on the planet is looking after him. So Trump's protection team makes the call. By the way, a call that's made just about every day by security services when someone is leaving, that it's time to change the plan up because the threat has escalated. One of the fundamentals in close protection is you don't run the exact same arrival and departure times every time. You vary the timing, you vary the route, you vary the method. And when the threat level changes, that plan itself changes even more. And what you don't do is you don't announce your new plan to everybody who happens to be traveling with you. Presidents are targets. We've seen it time and time again. President Reagan was targeted. President Trump was targeted in Butler.
Take a look at what happened.
I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold on, your head is bloody. So we gotta move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay, my shoes down. Watch out.
Targeted in Butler. And Trump has been an assassination target as recently as just a few weeks ago at his golf course. So when the intelligence changes around your security detail, you don't just say, oh, we're going to do it the same way we've always done it. You have to change the plan. Now, let's hear the media meltdown on this. As they're a little disturbed that the Secret Service and the military didn't consult with them on the plan and didn't tell them what was happening. Listen to this.
Joining me tonight is one of the reporters who broke this story, Washington Post national security reporter Dan Lamothe. And Dan, I mean, this is a remarkable scoop and very thorough reporting here. Can you just kind of walk us through what you've learned here?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most significant piece here is that for weeks now, the American public talking about the two Air Force One jets, the newer one from Qatar and the older one from the last couple decades of operations. And in reality, the president was on neither plane. This came to the Post in part because individuals thought that there was a hole in public understanding here that needed to be clarified.
Now, this leak was reported by a Washington Post reporter. He leaked details of how security, Secret Service, and the military protect the president when he's under threat. If he'd leak that, what else would he leak? The type of weapons the Secret Service carries, the limitations on Air Force One. Not a very smart thing to do.
I mean, it also, just in terms of how they came up with this, I mean, you know, a big question is going to be how unprecedented this is. The idea that they would take the president, not only put him on an alternate aircraft, but use a catering truck at the airport to do so.
Now, Caitlin Collins shows how little she really knows here. She calls this an unprecedented action, and how did they think this up? It happens every day in close protection. You're always looking for ways of varying, especially when the threat level is as high as it is for President Trump.
And Compton, how amazing what she is telling the world tonight with this very plain, simple language, which is truth is paramount. Don't lie about it. This is history. And I think this is where the administration has gone wrong. Yes, the president had to be protected at all costs in the face of the Iranian threat that we now know that they felt they had on hand. But look, they got him safely, thank goodness, on a third airplane, and they got him away. That's all good. There's a couple of things, though, that are highly problematic. I don't subscribe to the notion it was a decoy plane, because my question is this. If it was not safe for the president to be on that flight, how was it safe for the media to be on that flight? And to be lied to, not to be told the truth. Yeah, again, to be lied to. Because the thing is, it was the U.S. military flying the plane. The U.S. military does not put civilians unknowingly at risk. The president was gone. He wasn't being threatened anymore, presumably, but the civilians on board were still under threat. And the U.S. military, under orders, flew that plane. Somebody needs to tell me why that's a legal order.
Now, look, I understand why journalists don't like being deceived, but there's a fundamental difference between being inconvenienced and being deliberately placed in danger, like a decoy, like they're trying to say. And actually telling this plan to the media could have actually put more people in danger, and it could have even put the president in more danger himself. When the Secret Service and the military are protecting you and the threat level is high, they're not telling you everything that's going on. They're just moving. They're taking you and they're moving you. Now, the same thing happens with presidents. You look at the shooting at President Reagan when he was taken and pushed physically into the car once the shot started. That was to save him. There's been other incidents with the Secret Service in the White House during 9/11, where they would literally just pick the president up and carry him with his feet, not even hitting the floor, to get him out of danger. That's one of the things you do when the problem comes. Now, I'll just say this as a side note. In Butler, when the shots came at Trump in Butler, they didn't have a good crew on there because they didn't seem physically capable. The crew did not seem physically capable of being able to lift and carry Trump and run as fast as they can. That's part of what you do. In any event, you're not explaining it to the people that are there. You're acting. If you're going to travel with the president, you're part of the president's travel operation. Your first responsibility isn't knowing everything. It's really to not interfere with the protective operation of the president. Now, listen to the other part of the complaint and the meltdown here, that they're decoys, that they were put in danger. Well, let me tell you, there isn't a safer aircraft to be on in the world than Air Force One. It literally has satellites, the military, the Secret Service, the most well-trained pilots in the world, as well as the most capable aircraft in the world that has armor plating, missile-defeating anti-missile systems on it, and 2 fighter jets that are going alongside of you. You're not really in a lot of danger if you're on Air Force One. It's the one place I'd rather be, actually. Now, the press doesn't have to travel with the president, but they choose to travel as part of the operation. They have to understand that the security plan does not revolve around their convenience. They're there. They don't have to be, They can travel any other way if they want to. You know, one of the first principles in close protection when you're under threat is not allowing the other side to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, and where you're going. If the bad guy knows your departure time, the location, the aircraft, the route, you've just given them information they can use to target you. And sometimes the people standing right beside the principal don't get to know everything either with what's going on in close protection. I mean, the principle is the same. The less predictable the movement, the harder it is for someone to plan an attack on you. That's just protection 101. So were the journalists surprised? Absolutely. Were they annoyed? Obviously. But if the protective detail was dealing with a credible threat, I'm far more interested in whether they protected the president than whether the press knew what the departure plan was. Because in close protection, the plan isn't designed to make everybody comfortable. It's designed to keep your principal alive.